You're probably wondering if I'm still doing videos or not. It's been a few days or a week. This is a Calanthe tricarinata. It does have leaves on it because it came with some pretty fleshy roots, but the winter is no problem for it. Totally cold hardy. This is my Calanthe. There's flowers that look like that. It's getting more and more dormant. Still holding on to some leaves though, and so is this one, which has these lovely yellow flowers when it does bloom. They don't get much water. As you can still see, there's some ice. Look, still melting on the top of this Epicactus dendrobium. I'm looking forward to when they grow, come up. This is what the falcatas look like, Vanda falcatas, after all that snow and cold. Not a thing, nothing wrong, no harm done. And we can have a look at these ones. I can walk through this crunchy snow and ice. And up here, no leaf drop, nothing. It's because they're adapted to this climate, and it shows, doesn't it? Take a step back here so you can see still snow in that plot. A lot of it's melted now. Gate has to be locked. So, what do I have to do? I have to check the epiphyllums, lepismium, and what else do we have? Selenoceras. Other things I have to look at. Even if it's still winter, and you can maintain mild temperatures, during the day 20 degrees Celsius in here, and then it will get down to about 12 degrees Celsius, but even then these plants still need water. They still like it. So we're going to give them some balls here. And I like to use this. I'm just testing if the camera's focusing. This is easier to water with than using just the pet bottle. They say pet bottle, well, it's just a habit. They call it a pet bottle in Japan. These plastic bottles, a pet bottle. Alright. Does it need water? It's dried out. Lepismium huetleniana. This one is the hardiest of the lepismiums. All the other ones can be quite temperamental. And this here is a Pseudorhipsalis ramulosa, which is the easiest and the most widespread of these particular ones, and it needs water too. Next to it is this that I actually planted upside down. How did I do that? I mean, looking at the crenate leaf structure here, I think that's crenate. This kind of these lobes. These lobes point upwards. If you can see, it goes up and around like that. They point up. So you know that that's the side that goes up. If you would tip it upside down, you would have the lobes pointing down, and I had it upside down. Didn't discover it until 8 months, 6 months later or something like that. I was looking at it and thought, looks weird. And I had it upside down because I made a boo-boo mistake. This one has a lovely yellow flower, and it does. This one still has a little moisture in it, but it will appreciate another watering. Selenoceras chrysocardium. This is the one that looks like a fern. It has that leaf structure, that stisticus, which means that one leaf is not the opposite of the other along the stem. And the technical term for this kind of leaf structure is a pinnatifid. Pinnatifid is something that's this kind of leaf shape. It's interesting. And this one here I got from the orchid lady who gives me all those glorious orchids, and she gave me this, and all it was just a dead wooden stem. I mean wooden. It had no leaves on it. It was just a piece of wooden stem, and I thought, that's not going to grow. And I had some leftover well-draining potting mix, and I just shoved it in there like I was skewing a piece of meat, and I thought, no, it's not going to grow. And I just kept it in the shade in the garden, and voila, this thing grew again. So how tough is that? The only thing is that it's not hardy in the cold. It's got to come in. Can't take frost or anything like that. But it appreciates the water in the winter, that's for sure. This one still has a little moisture retained in it, but it won't mind another watering because it is building up a root system. This is a yellow flowering epiphyllum. Next to it is another one, because I took cuttings of it. I had this on the balcony, it got far too hot for it, and it destroyed it, so I had to take cuttings and start again. But this time around it's a much healthier plant. When they do go outside, they'll be going into the shade underneath a shrub. I have those round metal stands that you put pot plants in. They keep them off the ground. They're going to sit in those. So it's just a matter of getting this plant to produce a really good root system. You can actually see there the flower. It's just a standard looking yellow. Yep, once that root system is built up and the plants are looking good, they will be moved to a larger pot, and then from there they will grow on. Now we get that pot stand by then. So let's just put all of these back in before I water them. I decided to try all of these plants. I just wanted to see if I could grow them. There's something wrong here. Why doesn't this one fit? What did I do? What did I do different? I don't know what I did. Maybe if I put that one in first, it'll fit. This is not how I had it before. Wow. don't know. But here we go. It's starting to get dry, so I might made of water. This one drinks. It's thirsty. So once again, temperatures are about 20 degrees during the day, gets down to 12. They still drink, they still like water. If however I had a fully grown epiphyllum, I would have a lot more of a dry rest, for sure. Because when they get larger and are flowering size, they like to have a dry period, get a little bit wrinkly in the leaves. That promotes flowering, that stimulates flowering. But because these are cuttings and they don't have much to back themselves up, they don't have much foliage, then they need to stay moist. Well, not moist, but when they approach dryness, I'll water them again. But when they become big, mature plants, they will have a drier rest where they can wrinkle in the leaves, which won't hurt them. It will make them, stimulate them to flower. That's how they are. Their weather pattern naturally is where they come from. Alright, all done. Just slide it back. You could disappear from my eyesight. This here is my overwintering Stapelia. And I have two more outside that are still hanging in there. But I can only afford to keep one. I don't have the space to keep many more without making everything so cramped up and run out of space, all of those problems. I'm always cleaning the floor everywhere. I spray it with cleaner and I clean it. Everything is being cleaned all the time, kept clean. When you do have leafy plants like this, always have a check underneath. Always look underneath, because that's where the bugs hide. I did have some aphids. All it takes is one airborne aphid with wings, and they fly to a leaf, and I had to force this leaf out of its sheath, and then I just got a damp paper towel, wipe them all off, and then I just keep checking all the time. They're gone. That's the best way to get rid of them, and if they're in the garden, you just give them turn the hose on with some pressure, blow them off. Then you'll have to wipe them off anyway. A little bit of an update on my brassica. It's not looking good. I did cut another bulb off it because it was getting soft and turning a funny color. There's some yellowing leaves. I'm expecting that the whole thing will die, but you never know. It might live. But those blackened bulbs that it had on it were had weakened the plant. Yeah, and they were from burns, because even when I did get the plant, we were talking about it, and she said, well, they don't feel soft, and I felt them and they felt hard, and it was just confusing what to do with it. But definitely at the time I got this brassica, I should have cut those black bulbs off. They were black on the at the base of them, but you couldn't feel any mushiness or anything, and they would have just been the best thing to do all along. And I might end up losing it so I don't have any high expectations for this. But if it does live, that would be great, because I hardly ever see brassicas available on my go-to website where I buy my plants. But lately I've been seeing a lot more cattleyas, which have been making me do this. Yep. And I have to rationalize with myself, talk to myself. I must have looked like I was crazy or something. But there was one that had similar flowers to my big Laelia here. The Laelia Cattleya Wrigley, Blue Lagoon. Yeah, there was one that had flowers that and canes that looked similar, so I got myself out of that. There was another one that come on, and I can't remember its name, but it was big, nice, ruffled Cattleya, and it had not as nice colors as this one, so I thought, well, I would rather look at this one. So I got myself out of that predicament from buying it, and I've been looking labiata, Cattleya labiata, has got me interested. There's like an alba one that has a slight tinge of yellow inside the hyperchyle, which is right at the back of the labellum, and it's really hardy, and it flowers in the spring, and I don't have any orchids that flower in the spring besides my Renee Marks, and the rest of them don't. Oh yeah, I got two up there. Chrysotoxum and Thrissophorum dendrobiums, they flower in the spring. So I just keep reasoning with myself like that to get myself out of being just not thinking with my head and letting my addiction take over. And I did see a beautiful dendrobium speciosum crossed with Thalagona or Thalagonum or something like that, Talagona, and it had a few write-ups that said it's easygoing and some said it's kind of hard. And then I thought to myself, well, I already have Chrysotoxum and Thrissophorum, so I got myself out of that one. But they had about 4 plants, and I was just they were cheap. I just wanted to buy it, and then I just have to keep reminding myself what are my favorite orchids? What are they? Come on, use your brain. Yeah, think. I got to think about it. Okay. Back home late again, so that everything's quite dark and hard to see. Oh, better put you back, because I like my peace lilies. I like too many things. Okay, I think that's about it for now. Let me take some thorns out of my knuckle here, because I had to pick up a big piece of cactus that broke off after it snowed. Look at this big, magnificent mini Cattleya I have. It's absolutely full. And then I keep looking on the websites at all of these other ones. They look similar to this. And I have to keep telling myself over and over, I already have one. Can't I at least enjoy this? What is it that makes me want to get another? What is it? I keep asking myself. It's bizarre. Huh? I'm going to ask my own brain that question. Why do you want another one? I already have this magnificent one here. If I saw this, okay, for $30, I'll be like jumping over the sofa, doing a backflip. And here I am picking up these other plants that wouldn't even compare to that. And I kept asking my brain, and my brain didn't want to tell me. It's like hiding the truth from me. When I ask it, come on, what do you want another one? Come on, tell me. And it won't let me know. You know why? Because the bottom line is I already know what's wrong, and I can't admit it to myself. Of course, when the orchid lady gives me plants as gifts, they are orchids that I look at and I never buy, and then she gifts me one and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I somehow like it more than if I bought it myself for some reason. And another thing that's good, it's great about receiving orchids as gifts, is that the plants that have been put through the test, right? They're being grown hardy, and the other ones that remain out of years and years and years of cultivation and orchids dying, and these ones remained. And there's a reason why they remained, because they're very hardy and have no cultural difficulties. And I'll tell you one, and it's Cattleya beringiana. Dorianthus, I think it's called now. This is one of those ones that she gifted to me, and then she already gave her friend one that I saw. That's one of those orchids. Alright, but I do have this one here that I gotta grow yet. Fairyland Popo. Cattleyanthi. It has sophronitis in it, and if you hear that, you feel a little scared, don't you? It's one of those cattleyas that don't like too much heat. Probably likes to be kept in the same conditions as this Cattleya lundii, right? Doesn't like the conditions of these jumbo cattleyas. That's too much heat for it. Likes to stay around 30 degrees Celsius and mainly shade with a little morning or very late afternoon sunshine, and that's about it. Otherwise it'll suffer. Does not like temperatures over 32 degrees Celsius if you can possibly help it. Yeah, this is one of those ones I've had on the balcony, and I'm wondering to myself if I'm going to put it in a different position, because it was trying to grow and it wasn't growing too well. It was growing and stopping, and it was intermittent with its growth pattern. So I'm wondering if it's just a bit too hot because of that sophronitis in its lineage. I think I'm going to put that one with the lundii. That would be the best option. Definitely. We will be left with Cattleya beringiana, this big Cattleya thing here. There's brilliant floral blooms, and this big Cattleya young Kong. They're going back out on the balcony because they like it. They love it out there. And I'm going to put this one with the brassavolas on that fence there. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I think that'll be a much better place for it. I think the balcony is just a little bit too much for it, heat-wise. Yeah. I haven't got my glasses on, so I'm pretty much find it hard to focus on things. But anyway, we can see there's a Brassia cordata is struggling for its life, and I'm going to do an update on this here. As you know, it's been through the ringer. Will it survive or not? I don't know. It's that, but I did the right thing. I'm trying. It's looking a little black down the bottom here, but this is that Vanda. I possibly could have helped it because I have the green thumb. We'll see how green my thumb really is. Oh. But when you have to do a rescue, yeah, go ahead and do it. Don't waste any time when you know that the orchid's gonna suffer and die. You're best to just go ahead with it. No mistake there. Okay, that about wraps it up. This Rossavilla nodosa, there's a black tip on that leaf. It has one wrinkling up. It's possibly going to drop 2 or 3 or 4 more bulbs, canes, sorry. That's what it just seems to do during the winter time. I've got to really build this plant up on some kind of magic. The magic is the weather. Good rain, nice fresh air, little fertilizer. I'm going to put one of those animal dung fertilizers, push them into the roots here. Yeah, looking forward to the growing season, especially for this dendrobium thriciflorum and chrysitoxum. For my conditions, these are the way to go. And we're going to do another update in about another few weeks on the Australian dendrobiums, because they look really good out there. I wish I had kept them out on that porch outside under the cover. That's where I should have kept them, and looking forward to growing them there this summer to see how much better they grow. And I will for sure replace one of them. That's a lot of it is 2 of them almost lost half of their canes, and they just need to be pulled apart and replanted. Yeah, I need to do that, but I might get a little impatient and I might end up buying 2 more. But that is the update. Thanks for watching again. This dendrochilum is just growing so well. Great. Yep. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. Here's the temperature in here right now. It's 20 degrees, 55% humidity, and it is about 8 o'clock. Okay, bye-bye. Yes, I know what you're thinking. And it is. It's not an unboxing, it's an unbottling. Okay, so I'm a hypocrite. I said I wasn't going to buy anything, but this I had to get. And the reason why I had to get it is because I'm trying to learn to grow different kinds of orchids. So there is a lot of temptation out there and a lot of beautiful plants, but this one in particular I've never ever grown. This will be my first time, and I'll try to get a healthy plant, unlike that brassavada that I bought that's going downhill. This one actually has some good bulbs on it, and it's a native of Queensland, Australia, the Cookstown orchid, or the Phalaenopsis dendrobium. Supposed to be fragrant. This is a little miniature one. So it says that they're hardy and they're able to put up with low temperatures as long as it's not frost or anything under 0 degrees. I think if it gets under 0 degrees Celsius, you definitely would have to have it well away from any frost, but I'm not going to put my orchid through that because I don't think it's that cold hardy. Okay, not quite as much as a Kingianum. But anyway, unbottling. Sounds like I'm going to have a drink of whiskey or something, but I'm not. I've gone ahead and I've made a slit there, and here we go. I may have to use a container because I don't want to spill it. Whatever's in there, nicely packaged. I just sent a note to the seller saying I've received the parcel and they've been paid. This cost me about $13, which is nothing really for an orchid. And I like how it's in flower, so I can appreciate something. I can actually have a first-hand experience with my own eyes. Instead of seeing these at the store that you see very often, they're sold as cut flowers. It took me a while to actually find these on the website because they have a kind of a shortened name in Japanese rather than the whole name. Which is the dendrobium phalaenopsis. They got a very short name for it, so I just learned that. So I don't have my glasses on, so I'm feeling around. I know what you're thinking. Hurry up, get it out of there. But I will get it out. I may have to do a bit of cutting. This is an orchid that I want to learn to grow. Does it have any fragrance? Nope, nothing I can detect. It's well securely wrapped. They took some care and some time in this. It wasn't done in a hurry. It's such a... oh, it's so healthy. I'm so happy. These days when I look at orchids, I look at them over and over, and if I see roots popping out from the pot, like bursting out of it, I know that I got something to look at. But sometimes I wonder when I don't see any roots how recently it's been potted up, or if they just shoved it in a pot and it's actually not growing. So this one, it says that it's in its native habitat, it's actually used to having very dry climate. However, I'm not sure if I want to put it on the balcony and grow it there, even though it comes from this climate that says that you can put up with a rather dry climate. That's not going to make me want to put it on the balcony. The balcony is far too hot for it. So here we have a look. I'm going to go close. Right up close to these flowers. And these flowers, once again, they have my kind of look. This is the kind of orchid flowers that I really do like a lot. Love these kinds. And another one I like is Sarcocailus, which is an Australian native orchid. I have a fondness for these kind of A lot of the orchids I look at look beautiful, but they also look twisted and deformed, just according to how I see them. But this is a beautiful, beautiful orchid. And we're going to check out the actual plant now. It's planted into a pumice, so that's great. I'm just going to do a little more research on what it likes. But definitely a nice, healthy plant, very happy. Cookstown orchid. Ta-da! Now I can gain some experience from growing these. And yep, thanks for watching. I like watching unboxings because you get to see what orchids look like, how they're packaged. You get to hear the grower. This is the first time they've ever had one or not. For me, this is the first time I've had this. There's actually another one that I really like, yellow too. So if I'm to get another one, I'll get yellow. Now I'm looking at it with my eye. That is a very unreal color. It's unreal. I have to take some photos with it so maybe I can get that saturation right. Because I'm detecting colors that I can't see through the camera. Anyway, thanks for watching this unbottling